Nicole Ullo started her family business Elvie 8 years ago and makes beautiful personalised jewellery. The business has gained impressive traction with Nicole moving from a market stall to a successful pop-up store. And now she wants to raise the retail level of her business even further. So we sent in business consultant Barry Tennant to offer some useful advice.
Did it start as a passion of yours? Is it something that you had always been involved in, or had you...
I've always been interested in jewellery ever since I was young, making beads, making bracelets, fixing jewellery. My dad, he's a welder by trade, so he was always helping me with things like that.
So very, very hands-on.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
No, that's fantastic. So are you purely Sydney-based, or are you...
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
and we sell online as well, so we have orders from all over Australia.
And are you looking to build a brand in your business? Is that what
yeah.
you're trying to achieve? What's your plan? Where do you see yourself going?
Essentially, that's where I've hit a bit of a roadblock, is that I've been retailing for nearly 8 years now.
Right.
And you do get consumed by the everyday retail, struggle. I've lost the vision for my brand, and I am trying to grow it into a more prominent brand, and I want to get into a better retail space, be it in like a department store or as a concession stores, and I'd love to see my brand in somewhere like that.
The challenges, I think, in many areas of business like yourself is there's no real barrier to entry. Anybody can come in and set up a jewellery store, or be a designer, or be somebody that buys wholesale from other product or other suppliers, and it's their ability to execute a good business plan that gives them an advantage over somebody else.
Right.
So if they're naive and they haven't done their homework, which means they haven't done their planning about what they need to do, very difficult, because they'll hit a hurdle and bounce back off.
Okay.
You want to be able to ensure that you have a very clear picture, step by step, where you're going, and make sure your business is intact in all of those areas. And that's not just about the product or the sales, it's about the finance. It's about the operational costs, it's about the wholesale purchasing, it's about the cost of goods that you're both doing, and that's not just your product, but that's also your services that need to come into the business. So in any great business plan, all of those areas are addressed specifically. There's a big journey, and that journey needs to be clearly defined in a business plan, and understand what you're doing as you go on that business plan to tick all the points off, because when you get to the opportunity to be able to do a concession store, you want to be so well prepared that they'll say, you've done everything that we possibly need to ensure that this is suitable for where we want you to be in our store. And then we'll talk about things like the business model. So that's really, how does the business make money? That's very, very specific. So a business model can be, I buy it 1, I sell it 5, and that purchaser sells at 10, and therefore my profit margins and my costs come out of that, and here's, equals X, that's the number of money that I make. So with what you're currently doing, are you profitable?
Yes.
And when I say profitable, that means you can sustain a growing income for the business and ensure that the people working in the business can be paid.
Yes, of course.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, getting to that point in a competitive market is an amazing achievement. And I think, fantastic that you're doing those things.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's hard. There are, obviously, in retail, there are days that are great and there's days that are not. But it all balances out in the end. Yeah.
That's great. Tell me something about the reasoning behind you wanting to go into department stores.
I feel that where we are located now, we're not getting enough exposure, and I just want to attract a higher clientele.
There's obviously a process in place where you need to be able to convince the department store that your product is suitable for their store and also profitable enough for them to be able to take you on board. But when you go into a department store or set up a concession type of opportunity, you have to consider that those pieces of real estate in the department stores are very expensive. So the department store is going to actually buy from you at wholesale. So you have to go back in your maths and in your planning and your purchasing to
Right.
understand what margins are available from each stage before you get to that.
Yeah.
And that's a difficult thing to do because you probably find in many department stores and many large organisations that take in concession
Yeah.
that they have got well-known brands operating there because of their volume that they actually produce and the ability to attract a customer.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the value to the department store, it's about the traffic that's going to drive into their department store. So if they say, we're going to get involved in LV,
Yeah.
and that's fantastic, what will that customer view that product as being and how will they spend more money whilst they're in our store?
Right.
So the psychology of a department store purchasing department is not only just about whether the product is fantastic, it's really about does this fit our brand, our model, our opportunities for dealing with all of our customers.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for dropping by the KBB YouTube channel. If you want a whole lot more where this came from, press the subscribe button and it will open a Pandora's box of great videos that not only are educational, full of great advice, but also really inspiring. Just what we need as small business owners.